See, there we go. There we go. Can you guys hear me now, family? Let me know if you guys can hear me now. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chats. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chats because we are live. We are live right now, family, and I'm excited to be here with every single one of y'all tonight. Definitely motivated to go ahead and do these sessions with every single one of y'all. Once again, family, I am going to be doing these live Asian session type vibes every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the time being. I'm not sure for how long I'm going to be doing these, but I do plan on doing these guys for a little, for some time now, right? So if you guys can hear me, if you guys can see my screen, go ahead and drop your location in the chat. Go ahead and drop your location in the chat, family. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I see we got Jamaica in the building. Shout out to you guys out there in Jamaica. What is going on, family? How are you guys doing? Drop your locations in the chat. It's going to be another dope session. I highly recommend you guys, if you guys did not catch any of last week's streams, please, sometime this week, go ahead and just check them out, right? There's a lot of value that was provided, a lot of value that has been given out over the past few streams that we've been doing. And I just encourage you guys to rewatch those replays. You'll be able to learn a shit ton of information, which is extremely valuable, family. Now, again, I do plan on doing these for anybody that's newer to these streams. If you're just now learning about these streams, I just started doing them, guys, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I'm not even sure, right? But we just started doing these recently. And it's just with the intentions of just providing value back to every single one of you guys, right? Mainly to all my Noti gang, right? Shout out to my Noti gang in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I really do these for you guys because you guys support me. So I want to go ahead and support you guys right back by providing you guys with these type of value-filled sessions, value-filled streams. If you are attempting to actually comment in the chat box, you do have to be subscribed. So if you want to go ahead and just communicate back and forth, go ahead and just show love by subscribing to the channel as well. And then you'll be able to go ahead and comment. If you feel like the value that I provide tonight isn't worthy of a subscribe by the end of the session, then unsubscribe, right? It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm going to come on here and provide you guys with as much value that I personally have, with as much value that I've been able to gain that I've been able to gather over the past 7 years of me pretty much trading in these markets now. And overall, these type of streams, though, guys, are very chill. We have some fun. We over here. I answer a shit ton of questions. I provide a lot of value, and it's really just to help you guys continue to get better. All right, so that's pretty much where we're at. So let me go ahead and see what we got in the building today. So we got Louisiana in the house. What is going on? We got Miami, Florida. What is up? We got Chicago in the building. We got the Bahamas. We got Raleigh in the house. Shout out to you guys out here in Raleigh. I see we got Chi-Town in the building. What is going on? You guys, shout out to UK in the building, United Kingdom. I see y'all. We got the Bronx in the building. We got Brooklyn. Shout out to my brother Drew. I appreciate you. We got Oxford, UK in the building. 3 in the morning over there out there in the UK. Shout out to everybody that's overseas. Again, it is definitely 3 in the morning over there, right? So I appreciate all of you guys that are up right now, putting some time, literally when you could be sleeping right now, literally just, staying awake so you guys are able to get this value. So big shout out for you guys out there as well. I see we got Orlando in the building. What is going on? We got the boy Skaggs in the house. What's up, my bro? I appreciate you. We got Fort Lauderdale in the building. What is going on? Jamaica in the house. The Bahamas. What is up? We got New York City. What's going on, Evelyn? How are you doing? We got Detroit in the building. Virginia in the house. London, UK. We got Houston. We got Dallas, Texas. What is going on, family? Definitely excited to be here with every single one of y'all. So let's go ahead and get into what we got prepared for you guys today. Right, as usual, family, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick look, at the calendar that we have for this week, because on Wednesday, tomorrow morning specifically, is gonna be a very interesting morning, to say the to say the least, right? Because we do have CPI data getting released tomorrow morning, guys, which CPI pretty much just measures inflation from a consumer standpoint, and obviously inflation has been one thing that we've been dealing with. For a little bit now, and it's been really affecting a shit ton of things, guys. It's been affecting prices. It's been affecting, pretty much, everything, right? Because a lot of what inflation is doing right now is causing a lot of chaos and a lot of fear in the markets, a lot of uncertainty in the markets. So almost every financial market, whether it's Forex, whether it's crypto, whether it's commodities, whether it's stocks, like they're all being affected, not just because of inflation, but inflation is definitely playing a very big role on why a lot of these financial markets, guys, are absolutely collapsing right now. So it's definitely important for us to be aware of what CPI does tomorrow, because depending on how this release comes out tomorrow could dictate on what we actually end up doing moving forward in terms of biases, right? Because the CPI comes out and is high, right? Inflation is still high. Then we're going to look at the market in one way, right? But if for some reason inflation comes out lower than expected, then we might have to go ahead and look at the markets and react or respond a completely different way. So it's a very big deal. CPI is a very, very big deal, and it's something that we have to pay attention to. Now, also going into Thursday, guys, we also have PPI. Okay, PPI is another big deal, guys. Another tier 1 data release as well. Okay, this right here is pretty much another indicator to measure inflation. Right now, if you guys are not familiar with fundamental analysis, I highly recommend you guys to start getting more familiar with it. I myself have been pretty much dabbling into it a lot more over the past 2 years, I would say, right? Just really trying to get so much better with understanding how to read and interpret these type of news releases, and then trying to correlate the news release with the actual charts and the actual market itself. And it's definitely been helping me out overall, because now I'm able to create a fundamental bias and then align my technicals with what the fundamental outlook of the market could be. And that's really helped me out tremendously. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of traders out there that mainly use only technical analysis for why they decide to get into certain positions. Now, I'm not saying you can't be profitable trading only technicals, right? Because I was able to really see some success by really only leveraging technicals. But the reality is, guys, if you want to really get better, if you want to improve your win rate, if you want to improve your accuracy, if you want to gain more confidence, in my opinion, understanding news, understanding fundamentals is a phenomenal way to do just that, right? So let's see who else we got here in the building today. I see we got Nigeria in the house. What is going on? What's going on? Let's see, CPI going to be high as AF. Market's going to tank again. It's very possible. I mean, right now they're expecting, CPI. All right, I mean, look at this, right? The previous was 1.2%. They're forecasting it to actually go down to 0.2%, right? Now, core CPI, they're actually predicting it to go up a tick. Now, let me actually just go ahead and I want to take a look at investing.com and see what they got over here as well to see if it's all pretty much, the forecast is pretty much similar. So let me go ahead and bring this up as well and see what they're predicting CPI to come out as. Now, keep in mind, family, right? The fact that they are raising rates and the fact that they have been raising rates already, right? They already did 2 rate hikes. The first rate hike was 0.25%. This most recent rate hike that just happened a week or 2 weeks ago was for 0.50%, right? A half a basis point, right? So they already are raising rates to try to combat inflation. Okay, so there could be eventually a downturn in inflation sometime soon, because that's the whole point of them raising rates, is to try to combat inflation. So that's something we do have to be aware of. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what the economic calendar over here on investing.com is looking like, and then we'll go ahead and get into what we're gonna look at into the markets as well, right? So let's see who else we got. I see we got Jersey in the building. What's going on? Shout out to you guys out there in New Jersey. I see y'all. We got London in the building. What is up? What is up? Shout out to you guys out there in London. I appreciate y'all. Again, it is super, super early in the morning over there, or pretty much it's 3 a.m. over there in the UK and London. All right, so for you guys that are up over it, for those of you guys that are awake right now, all right, that are actually taking time out of your night where you could be sleeping to be on these streams, I appreciate y'all tremendously, okay? Tremendously, because y'all don't have to be awake. I mean, technically, if you really want to learn this, you got to put in the work, you got to make sacrifices, but, again, you don't really have to do this. So let's see what we got here, guys. So for core CPI, they're looking at just, 0.1% uptick in inflation from a core CPI standpoint. Again, who knows what's going to happen? They have been raising rates, so I'm not sure if them raising interest rates is going to give an initial downturn in inflation this quickly. It is very possible, but we don't know, right? We don't know. Inflation has been absolutely out of control lately, and that's why a lot of these markets have been, just reacting the way they've been reacting. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got the Wizard Gang in the building. Shout out to the Wizard Gang. I appreciate you for tuning in, bro. Shout out to you for sure. We got Sacramento, California in the house. We got Florida in the building. What is up? What is up? Right. Let's see who else we got. Niger. What is that? Is that a country? Is that a city? I'm not sure if that's a location, but shout out to you guys out there as well. Let's see, the genie's out of the bottle. Let's see if they're gonna be able to bring it back down. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. You know, they definitely got a tough battle ahead of them. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Federal Reserve and the FOMC committee, right, which pretty much helps dictate interest rates overall. You know, they definitely got a tough battle to try to do it. But again, you know, they are raising rates, and they are raising rates pretty aggressively. I mean, let's go back to even the beginning of this year, right? The beginning of this year, the end of last year, guys, you know, with inflation the way that it was, they were only predicting around 2 to 3 rate hikes, maybe 2-3 rate hikes, right? But now, since inflation has not slowed down whatsoever, you know, just about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, they ended up predicting possibly 5 to 6 rate hikes. Right now, this is the crazy thing. For each of those rate hikes, they were only pretty much pricing in 0.25% each hike. But as we've seen in this most recent, rate hike, they actually doubled that and went straight to 0.50, right? So clearly, they are definitely being a lot more aggressive, right, with monetary policy, trying to really get this thing under control, because high inflation is really ultimately, it's not good for the average person, right? Because the average middle class, lower income family, they're the ones that's going to truly be infected by all this inflation that's going on, which is why the Federal Reserve has to act quickly, right? I mean, we're literally seeing, guys, prices being 8 to 9% higher, right? The price of goods are 8 to 9% higher than what they were literally just a year ago. Now, 8 to 9% might not seem like a lot on the surface, but that's actually a shit ton, right? Which is why we're seeing everything go up, from gas, from milk, from auto cars, right? Used cars to, I mean, I know you guys are looking at rents. Like, look at the rent in your area right now, right? Like, in the chat family, right? What is your rent in your area right now, right? Like, the average rent. Because even rent prices, the prices of rent to actually stay in the house that you're living has absolutely went up crazy, right? And it's all because of inflation and all of these battles that it has to go through, right? So we have to be aware of that. Like over here in North Carolina, right, in the Raleigh area, like rent right now for like a 2-bedroom is going up to like $2,000 a month, right? And that's just for like a 2-3 bedroom, right? Like that's insane. Right, I mean, if we're talking about New York City has already been super expensive to live, right? So now we're talking about even higher, right? Let's see, $1,300 for a 1-bedroom, right? I mean, prices is not gonna slow down until they're able to actually get stuff under control. So that's the whole thing, guys. Well, like what happens tomorrow is really gonna be very, very important for us to really understand, because that can help us overall really dictate what can happen next as well, right? But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the dollar itself, see what the dollar index has been doing, give you guys my personal bias on what I believe can actually happen. I have been calling dollar bullishness for I mean, I can't even remember. We've been talking about dollar buys for a while now, and it has absolutely been playing out exactly how we've been expecting. Now, looking at what the dollar has been doing recently, guys, I mean, I do believe we still have some more upside on the dollar itself. Now, obviously, if inflation does come out higher, all right, if inflation does come out higher, I am going to expect more continuations to the upside. But before we even do that, I'm really interested in seeing price. Okay, and I had sent this in my Telegram as well. Right, if you guys are not in my Telegram family, it's a free Telegram, a public Telegram for anybody that's interested. You know, the link is actually in the bio, in the description below this video. If it doesn't work, please let me know. Right, but I've been telling you guys exactly what I've been expecting here for the dollar itself. You know, even no matter what happens tomorrow, right, if inflation comes out higher, I still think we're probably going to end up seeing price really go ahead and roll over. I'm very interested in seeing the dollar come down into this 103 level before we possibly go ahead and continue higher. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm leaning towards for the dollar itself, right? We still have a ton of fundamental reasons for the dollar to continue gaining strength. I'm not ditching that just yet. Yes, if inflation does come out lower, right? If inflation does come out lower, then we might have to just take a look at it and really analyze what to do next. But for now, I'm really still expecting the dollar itself to really continue in its bullish trend. So if inflation comes out high tomorrow, I would love to see price spike down for whatever reason, right? Just because, again, this is something that I actually just learned most recently, is that even if we do get data that could cause the dollar to actually go higher, right, there's still a good reason for it to actually go ahead and push down before we actually make that move higher. Similar to what we seen last week with the actual data that was released last week. Let's see what it was. I can't even remember off the top of my head what data it was last week, but we had a similar situation with last week that caused the dollar itself, right? I was expecting bullishness in the USD, to occur based off of a certain news release. And although it did eventually go bullish like we expected, it had an initial sell-off before it actually went higher. Okay, so that was what? Jobs report, right? So yeah, we had the unemployment rate, non-farm payroll, right? Which was one, but it was FOMC and the federal funds rate, right? When they actually did raise rates. So I was expecting an initial bullish reaction, but what we actually seen was an initial sell-off due to the actual news, right? And then price eventually rebounded. So the reasons why that actually happens is because most of this stuff is already being priced in way before it's actually getting released, which is why I tell you guys all the time that you have to trade the rumors, not the facts, right? Because by the time the facts come out, it's usually already priced into the actual markets. So even with tomorrow's CPI data, right? If CPI does come out higher showing inflation, I mean, yeah, we could definitely see, a possible move higher, right? It could possibly just shoot up to the upside, right? And just start really flowing higher. But what I think could happen, since it's already being priced in, we might see an initial sell-off first. I would love to see it come into this imbalance zone before we go ahead and really see, a continuation to the upside. So as of right now, guys, that's really what I'm leaning towards for the dollar itself. And the reason why I really like looking at the dollar index, which is just an index that really helps us predict dollar strength or weakness, is because this is still the currency reserve of the world, right? It still holds a lot of weight, guys. And when you're able to really correlate dollar strength with other currency pairs, you can create at least some type of confluence across the board. So overall, depending on what happens tomorrow, if we end up coming down into this level, okay, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to go ahead and buy it right back up. All right, this entire range that we have here just looks like an entire reaccumulation phase. All right, I've actually been talking to you guys about, Wyckoff a little bit, right? I haven't got too in depth into it with you guys because that's definitely a little bit more advanced stuff. But I've been talking to you guys about Wyckoff and accumulation and distributions and how to identify these things. And this, in my opinion, just looks like a whole reaccumulation phase, right? Reaccumulation. So now it's just a matter of getting into this imbalance and then possibly looking for that continuation. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at for sure, guys, right? Overall, that's what I'm looking at. So let's see what we got here, right? So we got Tennessee in the building, Nigeria, what is up? We got Melbourne, Australia. We got Canada in the building. Shout out to you guys out there in Canada. I appreciate y'all. Let's see, $1,300 for a one-bedroom, 800 pounds, $1,000 for a one-bedroom. I want one with the doorbell camera. Yeah. We got 3 bedrooms in Raleigh for $1,800 or $2,200. Yup. Rent in New York City is ridiculous. $2,700 for a 3-bedroom. That's crazy. Right? Cali, my house is up $160K in equity. Yeah. I mean, if you bought a house, right, just about a year ago, even 2 years ago, it's almost a guarantee that you have equity in your house. Right? Like my dad, right? My father actually bought a house about 3 years ago. Right? And this is crazy. Right? He bought a house about 3 years, only 3-4 years ago. He actually built it from the ground up, right? So it's a brand new development in a brand new community, which is actually pretty fire, pretty dope. But he bought this house for $325,000, right? Brand new house. Today, that house is now worth $500,000. I think almost $600,000. That house, right? So you got to think about it, right? That's massive increase in price. Now, the Raleigh area where he lives in Durham, but this whole triangle area over here in North Carolina, it is an area that just does really well with real estate, right? Like, this is one of the most moved into areas in the entire country, right? And real estate over here just does phenomenal regardless. But that's just crazy. Imagine you buying a house 3 years ago and the value of the house absolutely doubled, right? Like, that's insane. And you could definitely go ahead and also blame, you can also blame, I don't want to say directly inflation, but it definitely is playing a part for it. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. Where's more expensive for rent, Manhattan or Miami? That's a good question, right? That is a good question. I wouldn't be surprised on either answer, to be honest with you, right? Because New York City, Manhattan is expensive to begin with just because it's Manhattan. Miami is expensive just because it's Miami. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, so we got $1,400 in Canada, $2,800 for a 2-bedroom in Fort Lauderdale. That is insane, right? Like, that is just crazy. So, guys, this is overall what I'm looking at for the dollar. Again, obviously, depending on what happens tomorrow, we might have to change our bias and really just adjust. Because that's one thing as Forex traders, right? Again, I'm the trader that's really going to tell you guys what you need to hear, not exactly what you want to hear, right? As a Forex trader, if you truly want to see success, guys, trading Forex, then you really have to be able to adapt to the ever-changing market conditions, because these market conditions change all the time based on the data that is being released at the moment. Okay, a big reason why trading Forex is extremely hard is not just because we have to manage our emotions. It's not just because we have to be disciplined, right? It's not just because of none of that. Let's just keep it simple, right? Trading Forex is very hard because there's so many fundamental events that get released on a daily basis that really change the directions of these markets, just like this, right? Especially for everybody that really is more so focused on scalping and intraday trading and short-term ideas. Like, there's a lot of news that happens every single day, right? That really could change a short-term directional bias for your actual setup. So yeah, we're dealing with emotional things that we have to deal with, right? Which is very hard to do. We have to also deal with being extremely disciplined and creating rules and following the rules. But we also have to deal with the uncertainty of these markets, right? These markets have a shit ton of uncertainty. That's just the reality, right? And your ability to adjust to ever-changing market conditions is going to also really play a big part into whether you see results long-term or not. I hope that makes sense, guys. Right? I hope that makes sense. Right? Let's see. I live in New York. Definitely, man. Yeah, Manhattan is definitely expensive. Definitely expensive. Let's see. What's up, buddy? I see we got Husky in the building. What's going on, Husky? Good to see you in the chats. Is North Carolina a racist town? I mean, North Carolina, the state as a whole, I wouldn't say this. The whole state is majority, but there's racist communities in every state. That's just my opinion. All right. But it is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead. This is what I'm looking at, guys, for the dollar. I would love to see a pullback back down and then eventually a continuation. Even if inflation does come out higher, with is what I personally think it still will come out higher, I wouldn't be surprised if inflation didn't come out, because they have been doing rate hikes already to try to control it. And not just interest rate hikes, guys. You have to understand, there's a bunch of different tools that they use to try to combat things like inflation, right? There's a bunch of different tools that they use to tighten up monetary policy. One of them is interest rates, which is what we've been experiencing. But another thing that they're also use, right, is also just reducing their balance sheets as a whole, okay? Because this country it's a corporation, right? And just like any business, there's balance sheets that they also have to deal with. We all know that the U.S. is, trillions of dollars in debt, right? So what they do to also try to combat inflation is they're also reducing their balance sheets. They're clearing their balance sheets as well to try to combat inflation. So they are being very proactive and being very aggressive with actually trying to combat inflation. So again, I don't know if this CPI reading is going to show a downtick in inflation, but I do believe by the next one, we should start to see CPI pretty much probably, plateau and be at a higher, and then start to see a decline in inflation. So I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, but I do expect it eventually to happen sometime soon, just because of how aggressively they are, reacting to inflation, right? So that's just something to really keep in mind, guys, right? Really keep in mind, okay? Let's see. They've been doing it at 50. Yeah, they just did 50 this most recent one, right? They only did it 51 so far. The last CPI reading was about 2-3 months ago, and they only did 25 basis points. But clearly that didn't work. So now they're at 50 basis points. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually do 75. That would definitely be a very, very aggressive play. But the thing is this, guys, right? Because I know some of you guys, especially those of you guys that are probably a little bit more into fundamentals, are probably thinking like, well, if inflation or if interest rates can control inflation, why not just shoot it up tremendously? Because if they raise rates too fast, then that's going to send us into a massive recession. I personally believe that we're already in a recession, but if they raise it too fast, if they try to tighten up monetary policy too quickly, then that's going to send us into a very bad recession. And that's what they're trying to avoid right now. All right. They're doing very, strategic raises of rates for now, because they're still trying to keep us from avoiding a actual recession. But again, they're at that point right now where it's either we try to slow down inflation much faster with the possibility of going into a recession, or they do these little increment rises of interest rates and also, these reductions in balance sheets to try to do it that way. So again, the Federal Reserve is not, they don't have an easy job, right? Like at all whatsoever, right? Like the Federal Open Market Committee, I believe FOMC stands for, right? Like that committee does not have an easy job whatsoever, and either way that no matter what they do, they're going to get criticized tremendously. So again, it's not an easy job to do, but they do got to figure something out. That's their job, and that's what they have to do. All right. So overall, though, I still believe we have more upside for the dollar. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of these markets now, guys, and see what we got going on over here, and see what the market has been showing us, what the market has been giving us. Obviously, if you guys are in my Telegram, you guys know that we actually caught a pretty interesting buy on gold yesterday and this morning, right? Played out absolutely beautifully before it absolutely just rolled over to continue into this little bearish tone that we've been seeing, but we were able to actually catch a buy on gold around 1853 levels, right? And the initial targets was around 1866. It just missed 1866 by around 10 pips or so. It reached all the way up to 1865 before before it ultimately ended up rolling over to the downside, which is cool. Again, this is also expected. If you guys go back to any of my streams from last week, right, and even my last weekly outlook that I did last Sunday, I told you guys, okay, and if you guys do not remember this, if you guys don't believe me, go check out the videos. Remember what I said. I told you guys I expected more downside for gold coming in. I wanted to see price come all the way down to around this 1825 level. Okay, I wish I could bring up the video right now, but I will have to go ahead and try to find it, right? But I said this, I expected more downside for gold because I wanted to see it come down and retest back into this level down here, right? This 1830 range that we're pretty much, trading around right now. All right, so now price did do just that. Now, what I'm looking at for gold now, okay, or what I'm looking at for gold is I would not be surprised whatsoever, guys, right? If this level right here that we're currently at right now, that we're pretty much bouncing off of, or we're about to bounce off very soon, I would not be surprised if that is an area that actually does send us all the way back up to the upside. I'm not going to say all the way to retest these highs just yet, because obviously we have to see how inflation comes out and other factors, but I could see gold really bouncing off of this level down here at these lows at 1837. 1830s, right around the 1830 levels. And I could see us at the very least pushing up to 1880s and then possibly up to 1900s, right? Just to make a nice round, right? A nice round number, nice round level. I would not be surprised by this, right? This area that we are right now is actually a very, very interesting level that I would be expecting some type of bullish reaction from, right? This whole little play right here, right? This whole little order block that we have here, right? This order block is pretty significant, okay? Because before we actually seen price really shoot up, we had this resistance that was created. We had this resistance that was created. What ended up breaking? Where did the momentum start that actually pushed price higher to finally end up breaking these levels of resistance? Well, there was enough orders built up right here that pushed price up to break this level of structure. Then we had another order block right here that ultimately ended up bringing us way higher, all the way up above 2000. So this area right here is a very, very interesting level, guys, that I'm very, very interested in for sure. Okay, so going into tonight, going into tomorrow, depending how inflation comes out, if we can get a spike down into 1830s, I'm going to be looking for some buys off this. All right, that's just me personally. You guys don't have to copy what I'm doing, right? But I know if we do either stay around this level right here that we're currently at, right, or if by tomorrow morning we're still spiking down into this level, I will be looking to go ahead and buy gold back up. All right. If inflation is the way that it still is, okay, or if inflation comes out either higher, in my opinion, I think gold is just about to go to the upside regardless, right? I really think we're going to go higher from these levels. Again, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, it is what it is. I don't care, right? But just based off what I'm looking at, that's what I think can really happen. I do see a lot of potential for the market to really rebound. My area is going to be around 1830s, right? If we can get around the 1830 level, then I'll definitely be looking for opportunities to buy, around this 1830, 1829 level. Right, so that's pretty much where we're at. Very interesting levels for sure, though. Right, very, very interesting levels for sure. Let's see, I'm just waiting for the recession, and I'm through all my liquid assets into real estate and prime locations in Toronto. There we go, for sure. They didn't say last week that they weren't going up 75. I mean, it's on the horizon, right? Really, if inflation comes out high tomorrow, then I think the next CPI, or I think the next federal funds rate, they're probably going to raise it by 75 basis points. All right, that's just my opinion. Just because they have to try to combat it so bad, or some way. Let's see. I want to buy gold so bad right now. I mean, if we can find, all right. Again, it's possible for gold to really go higher, right? I mean, look at this reaction that we've seen already. Once it did spike out of 1832, it already went up around 50 pips. But in order for me to really look for buys right now, like I would need to see price. I mean, this area right here is not a bad area, right? But I'm more so just concerned about what happens tomorrow, right? Like right now we could look for possible opportunities right now that could possibly position us. Like even a retest right back here to around 1836, you might be able to really have this support level right here hold. We do have the 50 period moving average right there as well that can act as support. So yeah, price could bounce right off of here and continue higher. It is very possible, right off that 1836. But my only concern is with tomorrow being or having such a major news release, right? Because again, the market can react so many different ways based off what happens tomorrow. I mean, the rumor right now from core CPI standpoint is that interest rates, or not interest rates, but inflation is going to tick higher, right? So if you want to make trades off of that, by all means, do your thing. Right, let's see what EMA is that. That's the 50 period EMA. 50 period EMA. Okay, 50 period EMA. Let's see. I've been catching those sales with my strat. I'm only selling gold until 1813. 1813. Let's see where 1813 brings us up to. All right, I'm really interested in this 1830, but let's see what 1813 actually brings us towards. I'm actually very interested to see what we got at 1813. Let's see. I'm about to close my gold sales from 1989. Yeah, that boy Skaggs is a GOAT. That is actually pretty crazy. 1989. Golly, like look at this. That's from all the way up. That means you've been holding for what, almost a full month, almost a month, about 3 weeks. That's a nasty sell. All right, I've been saying we were probably going to sell since 1912, 1911 is when I said once we broke below this level of structure right here, that's when I see it. We're probably going to end up continue selling. Let's see, 1813. Okay, I see 1813, right? That is another level of structure that could possibly hold right around these levels. Yeah, price could break right below this order block as well and go to there. But anywhere in that levels, right? Like even if because like for me, I'm really liking that 1830 level, right, for a possible bullish reaction. Really interested in that. But if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to cry or complain about it. Then we'll go to the next key level, which could be that 1813, 1814 level for sure. Let's see what we got here. They said they wouldn't currently, but it's still on the table. Yep, you got a great entry. How long? Yeah, that boy Skaggs is a beast. I'm actually waiting to get gold at 1836 for potential sell-off to 1813. Just under a month as of right now. It was open on 418. Sorry, 1863 for entry, not 1836. My bad. So you want to resell it from 1863. That'll be interesting, right? That's just, you know, I mean, I mean, that could definitely play out for sure. You know, just aligning with what the current flow of this market has been. You know, you guys know me. For anybody that's been really learning from me for the longest. Right. Again, I know I have students of mine that have been really learning from me for the past 4 or 5 years. You know, shout out to all you guys that have been rocking with me for the past 4 or 5 years. That have been learning from me for the past 4 or 5 years. I really appreciate y'all for sure. Because y'all my day ones. like serious question, family, right? How long have you guys been learning from me? Answer that in the chat if you guys don't mind. All right, because I got some day ones in here that have been learning since I started educating. All right, so shout out to you guys. I know I got some day ones in here for sure, because I remember a lot of the names, right? But who are my day ones in here, right? Let me know my day ones, right? That been rocking with me for 3, 4, even 2, 3 years, 4 years, all right? Because shout out to you guys, man. We've been rocking together for a minute, and it's been an absolutely amazing journey. But yeah, looking at price, if we do get this 1830, then obviously that next level of resistance is going to be around this 1860 range, right? And if price does come up to here, there is a good possibility where price just continues in this overall flow that we've been in. You know, we have been flowing to the downside, you know, for the past month or so for gold. So that is a possibility. But yeah, it really depends on how we react. Because if price does come up to this 55 level and we react, then we could go lower. Or what price could do as well is price can actually go ahead and end up breaking that 1855 level. And if we do that, then I'm just going to be expecting possible reversal type vibes. Then I'll be expecting us to actually go ahead and continue going higher. All right, let's see. We got Drew, 2 years. Shout out to my guy, Johnny Rubio. I appreciate you, bro. 5 years strong. Yeah, Jonathan's definitely one of my day ones. All right, he started when I had my first course, my first Wealthy Visions course 5 years ago. All right, shout out to you. Appreciate you, my bro. We got to definitely talk it up for sure. Let's see, 3 years, 2 years, 3 years so far. It wasn't for you in no market structure. Shout out to you guys. Let's see, since you started in demo. Okay, I see you. 2 years, 2020. First educated 3 years ago. Let's go. Day one since I am days. Let's go. You was living in the Big Apple. Okay, yeah, that was definitely a while ago. 2018, 2019. Let's go. Shout out to y'all, man. My boy D Weezy put me on. That's amazing. That is amazing. But yeah, you know, shout out to all you guys, man. We've been rocking for a while. But yeah, gold can do a bunch of things. You know, I really like this 1830 to hold. If we can hold, I could see us going all the way up to around 1850s, 1855s. If we break that, which I really would like to see for my personal selfish gains, if we can break that 1855, then I see a lot more momentum, right? Then we could possibly go ahead and reach towards 1870s and then even up to 1900s for gold, right? Which would be absolutely lit. Okay, so we'll see what happens with that. You know, again, we're just going to play what we can see. You know, the thing about trading, guys, is that we got to just take it day by day at the end of the day. Right? Take it day by day. Right? We can create a long-term bias all we want, but news can come out, data can come out. You know, some type of fundamental event can happen that can just cause us to have to change it up. It is what it is. All right, so let's see what else we got here in terms of other currencies, right? And we'll come back to gold and see if there's anything by the time we get off. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I joined the Telegram and throw my setup in there. Yeah, for sure, Husky. Go ahead. I remember learning about pips with you. Oh yeah, Skaggs is definitely like, if there's a day one, Skaggs is definitely it. You know, he was definitely we've been rocking since damn near 2015. Right, we've been rocking since 2015. So shout out to the boy Skaggs. Really came up in this game together. We got my guy Jero in the building. Shout out to my guy Jero. I appreciate you, bro. Can't wait to go back overseas and lock arms with you and really run things up, my brother. I appreciate you for rocking with me. Probably 4 years. I appreciate you, Linda. What is going on? Shout out to you. Let's see. Plugging in after a while again. There's some interesting times we're in. We're definitely interesting times. Let's see. He just posted it. If you wanted to have a look, let me know what you think. For sure. Let me take a look at this real quick. Let's see what we got here. Okay. That's the analysis I have waiting for 1863. Yeah. Okay, so your what is your ICs? Institutional candle? Is that what IC stands for? IC, or is that just another way to say order block? IC stands for institutional candle. Let me know. Right, but yeah, you know, we could definitely see a pullback all the way up to there. That would be pretty lit. All right, so let's see what we got here, guys. Take a look at UJ real quick. See what we got going on here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the bigger picture, get a clean look at this chart. I know UJ for the most part has been absolutely on a tear. Look at this thing. Like, this thing has just been on fire, right? Like, absolutely on fire. But what can we see happen next? Right, that's the next question that we have. Right, what can we see really happen next here for UJ, right? So again, a lot can change depending on what happens tomorrow. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm not going to try to fight this, right? You see this momentum that we have here? I don't want to fight this, right? Now, I know I'm not an idiot neither, and I know that price isn't always going to continue going to the upside, but price doesn't have to just turn around neither, right? This thing could very well continue, right? Again, it's not always going to continue, but it could continue if that makes sense, guys, right? So I don't want to fight this, right? I don't want to fight this whatsoever. We are extremely bullish here for UJ, right? On the 4-hour time frame, I mean, we're just respecting this 50-period moving average, right? We're just continuing to go higher and higher. So what I would be looking for UJ personally, if I wanted to find an opportunity to get involved, I'm gonna go with the side that makes the most sense in terms of momentum, right? And that is strong right now. But for the past day or so, we have been just pretty much range bound. So very simple. Now I want you guys to be very cautious with this too, with how I'm about to play this. But what I would be looking for UJ is, if we are going to continue bullish, which is very possible because we have been having a lot of momentum, right? Again, not only has the dollar been bullish, which has been just absolutely dominating against the Japanese yen, but Japan still has negative interest rates. So foreign investors are more likely to go ahead and continue dumping money into the dollar as opposed to the Japanese yen. Okay, because interest rate differential is just so drastic here, right? We're talking about the US having an interest rate of 1% now compared to Japan, where they're at negative rates still. So that in itself is just a big difference there. So there is still, in my opinion, a lot of momentum to go to the upside. All right, I think we can continue going bullish. In my opinion, I would be looking for buys if I was looking to go ahead and get involved with UJ. A couple areas that we can keep our eyes on. If price does bounce all the way back down to this level around 130, right around the 130 level, a reaction off of there, a rejection from that 130, if for whatever reason price spikes down, can lead to a potential buying opportunity for USD/JPY. Or we could just see price bounce up, break, retest, and then just continue like that as well. Right? Very simple. Like, those are the only scenarios that I'm really interested in. Like, I get it, price could very easily also break down and go lower, right? And if price was to say go ahead and do something like this, I don't think I would be looking for a bearish reaction just yet, even if price did break below this 130, just because I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable selling USD/JPY. That's just me, right? Again, listen, that's just my opinion. I would continue personally just looking for buying opportunities off of USD/JPY as opposed to looking for selling opportunities. If I was looking for selling opportunities, then I would need to see something else occur. All right, I would need to see some type of bearish reaction, bearish play, bearish scenario that would cause me to really want to possibly shift that bias. Like, maybe if price was to come down to around this 120,500 level, right? If price was to come down to around, say, 129.50, right? And we broke and closed below that level, then maybe, right? Like a break and close below here could lead to maybe a possible correction down lower, maybe to retest down to around 128s, retest back into these levels of structures down here. But even then, I just don't have no intentions on wanting to sell this, right? I really don't. I would just continue looking for buying opportunities. At least that's what I will personally be doing, right? Just continue looking for some more buying opportunities for UJ. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm just going to be looking for buy ops, right? Buy opportunities if I am going to be trading USD/JPY. So just to clarify, if we come back down to around the 150 or 129, 900, 130 level, I would be looking for bullish reactions off of that zone. Okay. Again, 130s. If we do spike down to 130s, I will be looking for buying opportunities. If we break above 135, 130.50, I will look for a retest and then just look for a continuous swell. All right, very simple plays. Again, you don't have to be overcomplicated when trading. You don't have to keep things overcomplicated. You don't have to keep things extremely advanced. Like, very simple concepts, guys, really do work. Okay, so either break and retest, break above, close above, retest, buy, or push down to 130s and then look for a continuation off of that. All right, so that's pretty much where I'm at. Let's see what else we got here. Las Vegas in the building. I see you guys. Shout out to you, Paula. How are you doing? All right, let's see. Trinidad in the house. Shout out to you guys out there in Trinidad. I can't wait to make my way back over there to Trinidad. I had a phenomenal time when I went out there. That was already 2 years ago, which is crazy. All right, can we look at NCAD? Just got wicked out after being in this trade all day long, for sure. All right, let's go take a look at NZD CAD and see what we got going on over there. Then I'm going to take a look at Euro USD because I do have a opportunity for Euro. And I'm also looking at a setup for GJ as well that I'm going to be, waiting on. There's something that I'm actually going to give to you guys as well to keep your eyes on. Because I have a very, very interesting opportunity for GJ, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at NZD CAD real quick. See what we got going on over there. And then we'll go ahead and get into all these other ones. Let's see. Hey, looked at UJ and my analysis lined up really well with your analysis. Let's get it. Can we look at GJ? Yep, I got you. Hey, coach, when are we learning in depth on Wyckoff, right? So, Wyckoff is a very interesting logic, right? It really is. And that's something that even myself, I'm still getting very good at. Obviously, I was exposed to Wyckoff a few years ago by the boy Skaggs. Shout out to Skaggs. Really the one that been putting me onto it and introducing it to me. But what I can do is I can have Skaggs. I'll force his ass on here with me. And I'll have him do an in-depth Wyckoff session with you guys. Right? Because Wyckoff logic is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting logic. Right? The way I like to really look at Wyckoff, it really helps you identify consolidation and where you're at in terms of consolidation. So if you struggle with trading consolidated markets, then really look at Wyckoff logic, right? And when you really understand the whole system behind it, right? Accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown phases. When you understand the phases in it, then it'll really, really change the game for you. All right, so looking at NZD CAD, look at what we got here, right? Like, What were you looking to do? Right? What were you looking to do? Let's see. Who's right, brother Joseph, right? Talk to me. Right? Were you looking to buy NZD CAD? Right? Because you were looking to buy NZD CAD going against this momentum right here. Right? Let me know. Let me know in the chats. Right? Let's see. Excuse me. This is the 1 hour. I believe that was the 1 hour for you, Jay. Right? He ain't gonna do nothing for free. He might not do nothing for free for y'all, but for me, Skaggs will do anything for your boy. Right? So I'll get him on here. Shout out to that boy. Right? But yeah, let me know. Was trying to buy? Yeah, see, I mean, again, look at this. Right? This is like, what were you looking at that was causing you to want to buy? Right? What were you looking at that was causing you to want to buy? Right? Because all I see right here is just, for one, look at the overall flow of this market overall. Right? On the daily time frame since last year. Right? For the past 2 years. This market has just genuinely been flowing to the downside. Right? So there was a lot more momentum going to the downside as opposed to anything bullish. All right? So that's the one thing. Okay? Do not, try your best to not go against this type of momentum. And I get it. Right? I get it. Trust me. I understand. What a lot of traders typically do is that when we have this type of sell-off, right, we're trying to look to catch that bottom of the market, right? But that's essentially trying to catch that, quote unquote, that falling knife, right? Like right here, there's nothing here telling me that the market might want to go bullish. All right, like the only other area I would have been interested was maybe off of this support right here, but even then, I would have been expecting that support to break, just because we have been in this overall bearish flow, right? We have been in this overall bearish market. Right, this thing has just been absolutely collapsing, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Right, so I mean that's just the first things first that we notice, right? Like you're trying to go against this momentum, and that's just very, very risky, right? That's just too tough. Unless you have viable evidence by maybe looking all the way to the left and identifying some type of, structure or some type of evidence telling you that a reversal could possibly start. Then yeah, but if we don't have that, then yeah, it's just best to stay with the momentum. Okay, so even now, I still will be looking for more selling opportunities for NZD CAD as opposed to buying opportunities. It's just the safest play. Okay, remember, try to go with the safest play. All right, even if you have to be patient and wait for the market to pull back, that's what you have to do. Okay, it's always best to go with the safest route, the safest direction, right? Like really ask yourself, right? Here's an analogy for you, right? Say you're in a bicycle, right? You're riding a bike, okay? And you have two options, okay? First option on riding this bike is that you have to go up a steep hill, right? You have to ride your bike up a steep hill, or you want to ride your bike downhill. Do you guys want to ride a bike up the hill, or you guys rather ride a bike downhill? I don't know about y'all. I'm lazy as hell. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm lazy, right? I'm lazy. I have no problem saying that. I am lazy. Okay? I'm riding my butt down the hill. I'm not riding my bike up a hill. I don't want to. Okay? I'd rather ride my bike downhill because it will be so much easier for me to go downhill as opposed to going uphill. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's see, looking at filling the wedge. Thank you, sir. You're the dude. Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing, right? Like even now, right? Looking at what we're seeing now, like who knows, right? Price could pull back. But we have to really ask ourselves about probabilities. This market really depends on probabilities. It's up to you really to determine how probable is price for it to pull back and go higher against the trend compared to the probability of it just staying with the trend. Trading is all about probabilities. And our job as a trader is to really measure those probabilities so that we do take the best trade, so that we do make the best decision. So even if price did pull back up here, especially if you're still learning, again, if you're experienced, then yeah, you could do what you do, right? If you have experience, then you can catch these counter trends all day long. But if you're still trying to get your consistency down packed, you're trying to get your accuracy down packed, your win rate a little bit better, if you're just trying to get your confidence up, which is probably a big thing, if you want to just improve with your confidence, then it's probably best to not even try to catch the pullback, even if you know it could do it, and just allow it to do it, and then just try to set up for the next continuation down. Okay, that's just my general opinion. All right, let's see. I'm doing both. I got the horse legs. Yeah, shout out to my guy Will. Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, so that's pretty much where we're at with that. Let's see. I can do a guest session. You know I got you. Yeah, shout out to my guy Skaggs. Right, so we're gonna have to set that up for sure. Right, wee. Oh, you are hilarious. You are hilarious. Yeah. So for me, for NZD CAD, if I was to look for selling any type of selling opportunity, I mean, this level that we just closed below probably would have been where I would have been looking at, right? We just closed below structure. Okay, this level of structure right here is very interesting. We have previous level of support. Let me go ahead and change this. We have previous level of support here. Come on, why are you acting crazy? All right, previous support, price acting as support once again. Bow. Again, more support, price broke through it, acting as resistance. We did get a break above that level, but immediately came right back below and closed it. So if I was looking for anything, I would have been looking for a sell-off of this level right here. All right, this is where I would have been, especially since it's NZD CAD. I mean, this pair it's not that fast, right? It's not that much of a volatile, fast-moving pair. So you could have had a crazy setup, right? Risking 11 pips, 10 pips here, and then just looking for the continuation of this move. Right, that's the play I would have been expecting, or I would have been personally looking for. Right, we broke below a key level here that was clearly acting, you know, as a major level of structure. We broke below the 50-period moving average. Stops above the high, ride it down to the next level. That's what I would have been looking for. All right, very interesting though. All right, so let's go take a look at GJ. GJ is another one, guys, like I said, I'm very, very interested in. I actually have a setup that I'm going to be looking for that actually it looks like is actually going to play out very, very soon. All right, so I'm actually looking for more downside on GJ, at least for right now. I am I'm going to be paying attention to it to see exactly how we play out. But I do think we have some more downside for GJ. I would really like to see GJ, once this markup actually shows up, I would like to see GJ come down into around I want to see it clear these 159 lows that we have here. Or I want to see it break the 159 level, right? So I think we can continue. There we go. I want to see it come down into this liquidity where I believe there's liquidity just positioned all the way down below 159, right? So I'm going to be interested in some shorting opportunities going into tonight, right? I'm really going to be looking for an opportunity to short up here around 161 level, 161.10, right? 161.100 actually, right? So this is something that I already got set up. Okay, this is just me. I'm risking 2% on this position, and we're gonna see what happens by the morning time, right? I think we are gonna get this. I think we're gonna get filled by, you know, probably for London session, but I really want to see price potentially come up to this 161.100 level. And then from that 161.100, I'm going to be looking to attempt a short to go to the downside. Okay, I believe this right here looks like more of a redistribution phase. So I'm thinking that we can have a lot more downside to go ahead and get us to that 159 level. So this is what I'm looking at for tonight. There is a possibility for price to even come all the way back up to retest this 161.500. And if that happens, it is what it is. I'll probably look at another selling attempt up here. But, you know, for now, I'm really interested in shorting from this 161.100. So again, I already have this position already set up. It's already marked. It's already in my MT4. I put a sell limit up there. And then we're just going to see what happens, right? We'll deal with the consequences, deal with the results in the morning. And then we'll just see what happened. And, you know, like I said, if I win, I win. Cool. You know, if I lose, cool. Right, and that's really what a lot of you guys have to get in the habit of doing, right? Is taking your trades and just saying it is what it is, right? Whether it's a win or a loss, you have to treat them both the same, with the same type of mindset, right? Because for me, this follows my rules. This follows my game plan, right? So I'm very comfortable risking 2% on this opportunity. And if I lose, I only lose 2%. I'm not going to cry or complain about 2% loss. It is what it is. Even if I lost 5% for this one, right? Again, if I'm comfortable risking 5% and I lose, then it is what it is. It's not going to affect me, all right? Because now I'm still staying within my rules. If I trade my high risk account, or if I trade that $100 account that I have created for the challenge, I gave myself 10% max. So if I lose 5%, I'm still within my rules. Again, that's the thing about trading. You have to make sure that whatever it is that you do, that you're staying within your rules and that you're comfortable with the outcome no matter what the outcome ends up being. Okay, everybody's comfortable when it's winning, and that's cool. I get it, right? We all want to win, but you have to be just as comfortable with the losses as you are with the wins, and that's what's really going to help you truly eventually get to a point where you're controlling your emotions and it doesn't affect you overall, right? So there's something I'm actually looking at going into tonight, guys, is GJ, right? It's looking very, very nice. It's setting up beautifully, in my opinion. I think we can get a nice reaction from that 161.100 level with this nice little order block that we have here, right? That showed a lot of momentum, really picked up from that area. So I want to see price come back up into this level right here, give us a potential entry, and then from there, go ahead and roll over to the downside. All right, so that's where we're at. Let me know in the chats, guys, if this is making sense. Drop some 7s in the chat if this is making sense, because this is one. I know a lot of you guys that are here are literally just here probably just to get some free trades, right? Looking for some free trade ideas. And I get it. It is what it is, right? That's cool. But make sure you're also getting the education as well behind it, right? Whether we win or lose. You know, I always give you guys exactly what I'm looking for. And I give you guys my mindset behind everything and my approach. Right, so again, get that more. Pay attention to that, not just the trade ideas, but pay attention to how, you know, I'm actually approaching the markets and my mindset. I don't care about what happens in the morning. I'm taking advantage of what I can control. Right, what I can control is what I'm looking for in terms of my setup, where I decide to enter this position, where I decide to put my stop, which again is right above the order block, how much I'm going to be risking, where my target is going to be. Those things I can control. What the market ends up doing eventually, that's out of my control. Okay, if this thing ends up shooting up, it is what it is. If it stops me out, it is what it is. It's out of my control. Right? I did my part. I found my setup. I found my entry. Okay? As for targets, okay? Very interesting, right? So I'm actually going to be targeting the 159 level overall. Right, overall, I really think that we can go ahead and reach towards that 159 level, possibly even more. But for now, I'm going to be targeting 159 even. Okay, so around the 159 level. Now, if you guys look at this risk to reward is going to be insane. All right, it's going to be a very, very crazy risk to reward right here. Very, very crazy. All right, so I'm not going to hold my entire position all the way down to 159. That's not what I'm doing. Okay, once we do get, say, to around 160.5, back down to this support, okay, if we get back down to around this 160.500 level, that is when I'll go ahead and I'll take the risk off the table. If we're able to get down there, okay, if we're able to get to 160.50, that's pretty much going to be my first TP level, okay, where I'm going to be removing the risk off the table. I might close a little bit of partials, and then I'll be risk-free at that point, and then we'll go ahead and see if we can break that level, and then we'll end up going to around the 160 even, and then if we could break 160 even, then I'll be riding this thing all the way down to around 159. But I do got checkpoints that I have to pass first. Okay, very, very important. I'm not going to just ride out one position all the way down to 159. All right, because that is a very, very big move. Okay, so we do have checkpoints that we're going to be playing off of. All right, and that's very important. You have to know exactly when it's time to remove risk off of the table, when it's time to go ahead and go break even so you do not have no more risk on this trade. Then you also have to figure out when you're going to be taking some type of partials. All right, so let me say that one more time. 160.5 is going to be my first checkpoint where I am going to be reducing or removing the risk off of the table. I probably will close out some type of partials, whether it's 20% or 30% of the trade. And all you got to do is just lower your lot size and you're able to close partials that way, or just move your stop loss into profit more. Once we go ahead and get to 160 even, that's going to be another checkpoint where I possibly reduce more risk, and or not even reduce no more risk, but I will go ahead and take more partials off the table, and then I'll let the remainder go ahead and ride out all the way to around 159. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right. Let's see. Thank you, because like you taught us to practice proper risk management. Yeah, it's very key. Right, very, very key. Let's see. What's your TP? Yep, I said that. Education. What fundamental information for the short? I just feel like right now, the pound yen itself is just very extended. Right, I believe we could just see a lot more bearishness, just because, again, especially over there in the UK, their economy is also dealing with, every economy is dealing with inflation right now, but that economy over there in UK, they are, how can I say this? They're not as strong as the US, right? So us against the Japanese yen is just a big difference, right? But the pound versus the Japanese yen, in my opinion, for now, I believe we have a lot more downside, a lot more weakness, because I want to see price really get into a specific level, right? So I don't really have too much more of a fundamental bias. I do believe we will go back bullish for pound yen, but for now, I believe we're going to see some more downside, right? Just really staying with the overall flow of what the market has been doing, reading price action, reading more technical moves more than anything. But then eventually I do think we're going to go higher. Like if we can go ahead and get into this 159 level, up into here is where I'm really going to start looking for more opportunities for GJ to really go ahead and start buying up more. All right, so that's pretty much where that is. Right, but yeah, guys, keep in mind, right, GJ, again, can literally set up any time now, right? Like, this is something that, again, can happen tonight. I'm pretty sure it will trigger tonight. And we'll see in the morning time we'll see in the morning to exactly what actually happens. No matter what happens either way, I will educate you guys as well on what happened with the trade itself, right? And then we'll just go ahead and we'll learn from that, right? But like I said, I'm already in position to see this actually play out, right? So we'll see what's up. We shall see what's up. Let me just go ahead and just confirm some things real quick. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking good. So we'll see what happens either way. But for that family, let's see, do we have anything else that we could look at? No, I'm gonna leave it with that, right? I'm gonna leave you guys with this GJ, right? Looking really, really juicy. Tomorrow, if I can wake up early enough, right, which I should. I got kids, right? I'm always usually awake anyways. What we can do, right? If it's not too loud in my house, I don't mind going live with you guys and possibly, catching this CPI reading early in the morning together, right? But I will update you guys early, like around 7:30 if I am going to do it, so that you guys are aware. But besides that, family, I do appreciate you guys for jumping on tonight. Keep your eyes on this GJ. Win or lose, it is what it is. We're going to be educated on it. Make sure to be following proper risk management. Do not over leverage. Again, remember, focus on what you can control, and you can control on how much you're actually going to be risking. So make sure to be aware that I'm only going to be risking around 2% of my account balance for this position. So win or lose, it's a win for me. right? Whether I win or lose, it's a win because I follow in all my rules. I actually dropped a quote on my Instagram, right, that said trading is all about discipline, right? It's more important to be disciplined trader than it is to be the most skilled trader. Okay, let me say that one more time. It's more important to be a disciplined trader compared to being the most skilled trader. All right, so just keep that in mind, family. But overall, GJ's looking good. Let's see if we can go ahead and catch a banger with this. And I'm going to end this off on this video, or on this actual setup. And I'm actually going to be creating a new video for you guys tomorrow as well. Another banger that I'm going to drop on the channel. And I just appreciate y'all for jumping on and tuning in and supporting your boy. Right, if you guys have not liked the video just yet, just go ahead and drop a like before we hop off, just to go ahead and help with the algorithm. Even though we're getting off, it's cool, right? YouTube just loves to see the engagement. YouTube loves to see the interactions. So before you get off, just please go ahead and just drop a like on this video. It definitely will help me out tremendously with putting me in YouTube's favors, which is absolutely what we need. Because my goal is to really get to 50,000 to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And we're going to do it together, right? We're going to do it together, family. So I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me tonight. I will be back on tomorrow night. Once again, another Asian session. Looking for more opportunities, going over the markets and seeing what we ultimately come up with. But family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it.